Hi, and thank you for stopping by at Fab Food with Barbie. When I think of spring, I think of warmer temperatures outside. I think of the beach. I think of having sangria in my patio, mojitos, hibiscus iced tea, infused lavender over ice, all the things that are yummy and cold, all completely opposite of hot toddies, café con leche, and the hot cocoa that kept me warm during winter. I also think of the lavender fields of France. I think of the grapes in Spain getting ready to ripen. There's a lot of things going on in spring. And one of the things I want to do is simple syrup drinks with you today. Simple syrup is just that. It's simple. It's 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water. You cook it down on the stove to dissolve all the sugar. It's one of those things you should have in your bar. It keeps for, 6 months in your refrigerator. So when you get company, all you have to do is bring out the simple syrup, pour it over ice, and garnish it. And it's a great, refreshing drink. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to add the sugar and the water together and start cooking. It's usually 1 cup of sugar to 1 cup of water, but today I'm using 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of water because I'm having a party. You're going to pour the sugar and the water together in a saucepan. Put these over here. And you can also use agave, you can use organic sugar, raw sugar. Keep in mind though, when you use the raw sugar, it colors the water. We want a low heat so that we're not caramelizing the sugar. We're not trying to make it brown or burn it. We want to dissolve the sugar. It'll take a few minutes. So now we've got it good and dissolved. All the sugar is nice and dissolved. We're going to put the pan over here. What we're going to do next is we're going to infuse the lavender into it. I've got lavender seeds, but you can use lavender buds if you want to. Oh, and I love lavender. It's like one of my favorites. It smells wonderful. Okay, so we're going to take a couple pinches of this and we're going to put it into the simple syrup. And stir it around just a little bit. And we're going to let it sit. Now, normally, the longer you let stuff sit and infuse, obviously, the more potent, the more flavorful they are going to be. If you have a lot of time, even a day or two will add much more flavor to it. If you don't, 15 minutes is good. Just remember that when you go to pour it off, after it cools and you're done infusing, you want to use a sieve. A fine sieve is good so that you can strain it. You don't want any of those pieces in your drink or your guest's drink as they're sipping along here. I love this stuff so much that I actually have some in my fridge right now. I keep it all the time so that when company comes, it's ready. It's one of my favorites. Here it is, right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make the cocktail, or the beverage. I should say beverage. It doesn't have to have alcohol in it, but this is what you do. You take a beautiful glass. I'm going to use my hands because this is actually my drink. You add a little ice to your glass. I'm going to pour off just a little bit of the lavender-infused simple syrup into my glass. Maybe about half. It depends on how sweet you like it. Very sweet. To this, I'm going to add a little bit of club soda, my favorite, to give it just that little bit of oomph. A little bit of carbonation. And believe it or not, that's it. Very simple, just like that. Yummy. Okay, so now we've got the simple syrup done for the hibiscus iced tea. To the simple syrup, we're going to add the hibiscus buds. I'd say 4, 5, 6 maybe. Depends on how strong you like it. To that, we're going to add some sliced ginger. You don't necessarily have to peel it because we're going to strain all of this through the sieve. Okay, so we want this to infuse just like it did with the lavender. I would let it steep for about 10 minutes. It's a pretty quick one. After we've done that, we take it from here and we strain it into the strainer in the ice bath if you need to. Goes right through. And just let it sit for a little minute. So now we've got it strained off into the ice bath, and it's pretty cool. If you're not going to strain it into a big pitcher for use and you do it into a smaller container for an individual drink, maybe you can go ahead and pour it into a cup with a spout, just to give you a little bit, just to make it a little easier for you to pour off into your glass. Okay, so now I've got an ice glass right here. It's already ready to go. To that, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm going to give it a little bite. I'm going to pour some of this simple syrup, hibiscus, ginger, right in there. And before I top it off, I'm going to add a little bit of my club soda, just like I did the previous one. It's going to give it that little umph and kind of mellow out the sugar too. I mean, you don't want it too sweet. So once you get the lemon juice, the simple syrup, and the club soda in there, give it a little stir. And that's it. Just like that. And another yummy drink. Okay, so now we're going to make sangria. Sangria is made with a fabulous red wine. It doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to be a yummy one. We're going to take a pitcher and ice it. To the pitcher, we're going to add some chopped up apples. I've chopped up some Granny Smiths and some Gallus, but you can pretty much choose whichever ones you want. Okay, so we add those to the pitcher. And to the pitcher, we're also going to add some oranges, tangelos, tangerines. In this case, I've got some little cuties. In addition to that, to make it pretty and give it a little tartness, I'm going to add a couple of slices of lemon and lime. There's a lot going on in this pitcher, but once I'm finished, it'll be yummy. To the pitcher, I'm now going to add some red wine. Oh, about half. Half is good. To that, I'm going to add one of my favorite juices. You can actually use orange juice, cranberry, whatever you've got on hand. My favorite is cranberry. Gives it a little sweetness. There are different versions of sangria. This is mine. This is the Fab Food with Barbie version. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of club soda, just to give it a little bit of an umph. In Spain, they add what is called gaseosa. Here, we're just going to call it club soda. Alright, so once you get everything in there, give it a little whirl, like so. Oh, it's beautiful. That is a beautiful visual drink. As much as it's delicious, I love it for all the colors. You bring this out to your patio, people go, wow, what are we about to have? It's so refreshing. Okay, so let's get a glass and pour it off. If you have a tight spout like that, and the apples and oranges don't want to come out, that's okay. A couple bites for your guests are good. You don't have to overwhelm them with a fistful of fruit. And that's it, folks. Sangria, España style. Now that spring is here, I hope that I've inspired you to make some refreshing drinks for your next party. I thank you for stopping by Fab Food with Barbie. Tune in each month for more fabulous recipes at beautycomeforthonlinemagazine.com. And until next time, make sure nobody goes hungry.